And I'm super excited to be here because we are having a good conversation. I'm looking forward just to have an amazing conversation with you, our viewers. So today we are giving you a platform where you can call in and send text messages, because a number of times you've been complaining that you want to call in and we only accept text messages, but today we are allowing you to call in and just give us your comments and your contributions about a topic of discussion which we'll have today. So we are looking at artificial intelligence reshaping work and business. It is a continuation of the topic which we started last week, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we just want to continue this conversation and just to have a conversation with you, our viewers. And in the studio, I'm not alone. As usual, I'm joined with Mr. Owen Katongo Kabanda, who is Management and Leadership Advisor, not forgetting that he is an international speaker. So if you have any questions, comments about our topic of discussion, he is the best person to respond to all your questions. Mr. Kabanda, welcome to Labor Matters.
Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very good, and I'm glad to be here today.
Amazing. So we are looking at the topic we started last week, and just a recap to some of the people who were not part of last week's conversation. Some of the questions we responded to were defining what artificial intelligence is, where you can find it, and how you can use it. For the sake of the people that missed last week's conversation, if you can just give us a recap of what AI is all about.
Thank you so much, Patricia. Yeah, so for those that are joining us, really, so we are looking at artificial intelligence because, as we know, artificial intelligence is really machine learning. This is where the machines, in a very simple way, machines are now being made to actually think and reason and communicate as human beings. So in the past, people say, no, those things are happening very far away in Europe and so on, or in America. These are not things that will affect us. But as we know now, these are things that are affecting everyone, everywhere in the world. So artificial intelligence really is about how the machines are made to use a lot of data and then analyze that data in real time. And then it's able now to generate responses for you in a manner that shows actually that there's a lot of reasoning around it, and then putting the information in a manner that actually responds to your questions. So that actually happens in real time. So a question is asked, you put in a prompt, then the machine actually gives you those responses. Now, when we talk about these kind of things, it appears like these are like big machines where you have to find something, maybe put in a corner or a computer lab. With artificial intelligence, you're actually looking at AI being used almost in a lot of devices that we're actually using. When you look at the phone itself, the phone, there's a lot of artificial intelligence being used in there. When you are browsing, if you go to some of these applications like TikTok, you'll find that the machine learns what you actually like to watch. So if you're watching on the war in Ukraine, it will line up nicely the videos for you about the war in Ukraine. If you are watching videos for dancing, again, it will line up those things. Like I always joke about these things that when you hear people saying, no, but on TikTok, they're just people dancing, it's because that's what you're watching. So the machine is able to learn very quickly what your patterns are. Things like advertising, you find that even on Facebook, on YouTube, and all these the social media platforms, they're able to bring you certain things that you kind of like, so you talked about. There is AI in Google Photos. If you are using such applications, remember it's able to give you some photos that you're able to watch. Look at the phones, even in terms of the way to adjust in terms of the daytime. That's why they're called now like smartphones. AI is also like used even in the health sector. You now have AI being used, even just the simple things like the bands that people wear as they are walking, and it's able to tell you how much of calories you actually need to burn, how much more you have to walk or run or do all sorts of. In the cars, now you have AI being used to help you even when you're driving and things of that nature. So AI is in everything. You talk about even the TVs, you find that there's AI being put in there. So basically, AI is being used in a lot of things. So it's here to stay as at now. And the key thing, like we said, is for us to start understanding what is this animal called AI, and what are the dangers that come with it, and how do we protect ourselves, but most importantly, how do we actually make use of it and not to remain behind. So that is what is really key around artificial intelligence.
Well explained, but some people are still complaining or living in fear that maybe it is here to basically get their jobs, because this is what is happening. You just go there and search what you want to see, and you have information right there. But why should employees not be scared that this thing is here to get their jobs?
Of course, AI, it's revolutionizing how we do a lot of things. Everything around us is going to change, and actually it's changing. So this is why when we do these trainings on AI, we encourage people to learn how to adapt to AI and how to make use of AI. Definitely, the fear around jobs, that's a very genuine fear. Even before we think about even the jobs, you have to understand that AI is right now in our homes, in our, in our phones, at work. AI is being used already. So when you look at even simple things like emails, right now, you remember in the past, there used to be those problems of spam messages. Now, through AI, it's able to detect that this is spam mail, and it will put it in a separate folder, and you are able to remain with your inbox properly done. So AI is there. Now, jobs, when it comes to the worry about the jobs, yes, definitely jobs are going to change. Some jobs are going to be very much affected. I'll talk about things like colleagues who have done, even as an example, web designing. Web designing now with your AI, you literally plug in, give appropriate prompts, it's able to design a website for you. Guys who went to do all this designing and art, now with AI, you're actually able to do those kind of things. So it's going to affect a lot of things. Colleagues who do things like, I was chatting with some colleagues who help even just what you call it, job seekers, where somebody will go, can you do a CV for me? And people are paying some little money is there. Again, those things are going. Because with AI, we are able to punch in the correct prompts, and actually it can create a proper CV for you. A CV that actually matches to the application. So those kind of things are going. For the consultants, it's the same thing. You have to find a way to manage and to learn how to use this AI, because even there, it's affecting a lot of things. Before, you will be the one bragging that, no, I'm the only one who can do policies, I'm the one who can create business plans. With AI, in less than even a minute, that's what we're talking about.
Mr.
Those
Kabanda,
things are able to be made.
But don't you think that AI is basically making people a little lazy, because you can't think critically? You can't. You just want to just type in what you want to information you want to get. Don't you think that it's making people lazy?
Yeah, no, those arguments about laziness, those arguments are going to be there all the time. Look at it. Let's just look at the evolution of the things to do with, let's say, calculations. In the past, people would really do this mental arithmetic. I remember, like, my father would really beat you nicely if you can't calculate. But then, in the olden days, that was like really the norm. You really have to learn how to calculate. Then came those things like, where you can have the boxes at the back of the books or whatever it is, those mathematical tables. And it was the same thing. People say no, but then people can't think critically because there's a mathematical table here. So came beyond that, you have the era of calculators as an example. Again, people complained that with these calculators, it's making people not to think, because they are now just punching in. Beyond the calculators came Excel. Now Excel is advanced. Again, people complain that now you are not really even thinking, because you're just keying in things, and it's producing for you, like the accountants in the olden days, because really for you are doing accounting, you needed to really know how to compute this. But along the way, beyond Excel, now we have artificial intelligence, which is doing the very things that even Excel does. Point I'm driving at is that you have to understand that at every stage, there is always a perception that something is not going to work well or something is really making people lazy. But it is a key principle. It's about understanding how to use those tools, because you have to look at it as simply a tool. The mathematical tables or the calculators, they are basically tools. If you don't know how to use a calculator, you still not get the answer correct. If they tell you to the power this, you look at the calculator, you don't know, you are not going to still calculate. They give you Excel, you will still not be able to calculate. So first of all, there's a key understanding of the principles. And then from the principles, then you have to again understand how do you use this thing. So even with the AI, it's really, yes, there's genuine concern around people not thinking critically, but let's just remember that this is also just a tool. And the key issue, which we emphasize even during these trainings, is that what you need to understand is how do you use it? Because there are certain things, there are certain prompts, for instance, that we have to use. If you go to use ChatGPT, for instance, there are specific prompts that give you better results compared to just it scratching on the surface. If you use Bard, you use Perplexity, and all these other AI platforms, you have to understand how do they actually work for you to get the best out of them. Otherwise, it's more or less like garbage in, garbage out. If you put in very basic things, it will give you basic things. So now about making people not, of course, some people take the things, the very basic things, and that's what they'll give you. And that's why we are actually saying, for people like students in school, you have to be very careful. For employees, managers, they have to also start understanding how do these things work before they even use them, because when the employees are using them, or when a student is using, the lecturer needs to know what this thing is all about, so that they can then better manage either the students or the employees.
Mr. Kabanda, talking about the students in colleges and universities, how can they use artificial intelligence? Do we have some dangers?
Yeah, so again, that is one place where artificial intelligence has really been talked about a lot in terms of the dangers that are actually there. But let's talk about, first of all, the benefits, okay? I know we always jump to the dangers. Believe me, I've been working with a couple of guys when we do trainings. The first things everybody asks about, the danger, this thing is finishing thing. No. Before we talk about the danger, let's look at what actually the benefits. So for students, and we have some students that we do help. For the students, it's using AI, you are able to actually, customize your learning. Remember, there are a lot of books. Now with AI, even a book which is 200 pages, you are able to actually analyze, put in the prompt, it analyzes whatever is in that book. If it is a paper, it can analyze for you. So you kind of can customize your learning. It also helps you with research. With that, what it does is actually, like, if you have a certain research you are doing, you can actually use AI to help you with that. I know in the past there was this limitation when we're using, let's say, ChatGPT, and it cannot give you references and so on. But that, with time, in the very few months actually, what we are seeing now is that even ChatGPT, Perplexity, and all these others, they're actually able to give you even references. So yes, in terms of danger, the danger that is there is that you may find that now the students are not really putting in much, because the student can literally be sleeping. Sleeping, okay, relaxing or having some good time partying. The assignment is due at 12 hours. At 11:40, even 11:50, they will do this assignment in less than 10 minutes and submit the assignment. That's what AI is really doing. What that does is, if you have I hope we'll have some time, then we can demonstrate something to you. If you have a question, any research or anything that your lecturer has given you, you can plug in. And now, like, we have even, I will tell you about Chat Hub. What it does is actually it pulls information from 4, 5, or 6, or 8 AI tools. You put in the question, and then it's able even to compare, so you're able to see what is the correct position. Of course, like we've said, there are all dangers that we also have to know about. Sometimes it can give you wrong information. And when it gives you that wrong information, if you have not taken time to verify, then it becomes a challenge. So yeah, there is that risk for the students to start cheating. You have these exams which are done where they give you to do like an hour or so, they send you, students are able to do that.
But is there a way where lecturers can get to catch students? Because if we are to use artificial intelligence to just write exams and assignments, which is not good. Which is not good somehow, but how can lecturers get to catch students?
So really, this is why we encourage even lecturers to come for our trainings, because you have to first understand, and this is a big problem for, like in Africa and in Zambia to be particular, because if you have not, as a university, moved very fast, because I understand in other areas, they have, remember, they have also created some other AI, which is able to detect the work which is from AI. Now, that you need to invest in that. You have to be able to have AI that detects. Now, this is where the fight is. It's an enjoyable thing, actually, when you're using AI. You see, there is AI that catches the work of AI. What now, again, the other AI has been evolving. So there is a prompt that we put in, for instance, where you can actually tell it to humanize the work. What that means is that speak as if you are human. There is also AI that you get work from here, you throw in the other AI, and it cleans it up and makes it like very original, and is able to check with the plagiarism, because that's the biggest issue. I see some of the universities just having Grammarly and saying, okay, this is what catches the percentage of plagiarism. You're going to have students passing because even that Grammarly is tested and they're able to see that they are within the limits of plagiarism. So the lecturers and universities, they have to now start investing in AI, understanding what AI should they use to catch students, what other methods can they use to actually test the students that the student is actually learning. And that's why we encourage people to do a training in these things, or in this kind of things. But it affects the employers. Remember, what we talk about is when this student is finishing, this student has flying colors, okay? So for you as an employer, you'll be there very excited. No, we are getting A+ students. But this is a student who was basically just eating popcorn and throwing information in AI and getting good grades. So it will affect also the recruiters at some point, because they have to also put up their socks. So these are things that actually now we have to deal with. Lecturers have to know what is work which is generated from AI and which work is not generated from AI. But also for the lecturers themselves, they can use AI as long as they understand how to use it. Get the necessary training, come for training, so we take you through. So AI itself can also help you as a lecturer, even to create the lesson plans, the modules. Remember, now we have AI that even creates PowerPoint presentations. This thing of I need to have 5 secretaries to help me prepare, that is long gone. With AI, you are sitting, sipping on your coffee or your drink. It gets your lesson plans, you tell it what you are looking for, and it creates the lesson plan for you, and you can transfer another AI to actually create the PowerPoint for you, or whatever format, including the questions, the exercises that you can give. So these things actually are being used in institutions of learning.
It's more like life has been made easy.
Very much.
We can
easy.
say that.
Yeah.
I think you did mention to say that job seekers can also use AI, but how can they use it?
So for the job seekers, like I did mention, it's really now about, Patricia, it's about preparation. And this is the part where the recruiters have to actually now be very, very careful. Like I said, I hope we have time. I will demonstrate to you like what AI is able to actually do. With the job seekers, and with this time, you really can use AI to prepare for interviews. Believe you me, with AI, like we are able, so if you are going for an interview, these are things that we help some of the job seekers with. You can literally, with AI, use it to understand the company from the comfort of your home, understand the company, what the company is about. It can also create, first of all, if you're making an application, it can clean up. We have AI that we use, which cleans up CVs. What that means is that with AI, it's able to match the CV to the job. So you basically, what you do, you take the job that was advertised, for instance, and then you slot it in, and it's now able to match with a candidate, and even come up with some questions for you, even what kind of answers you have to give. So, and this is where we encourage, especially the older job seekers, they need to also find a way to learn some of these things, because you find that you're competing with a youngster, and this youngster maybe doesn't have, or she doesn't have a lot of work experience, but the way they are able to, elaborate things, it's because they have had a chance to be fully trained with AI. They understand what questions, and even with AI, like most of these companies that have publicly available information online, it can even tell you about that institution, the leadership, the questions you should even be asking them on the panel. It's amazing. So you really have to put up your socks if you're going for interviews. And that's why we encourage, especially young people, the very time you use on, swiping on Facebook and just looking at your social media celebrities, you can use that time to invest in learning. You invest your time, learn what kind of questions you can be asked, how do you prepare for those questions. So this is why I was also partly saying it also affects some of those people that try to do these CVs and training for people who go for interviews. So it's affecting the job seekers also.
But how can also employees get to use AI in their work? Because you did mention to say that AI is here to stay, and it is helping quite a number of people. You did mention students, lecturers, CEOs, everyone. But how can employees get to use AI efficiency and make sure that they're using it to the best? Yeah,
so let me even start by talking about the HR or the recruiters actually. When we come to AI, as we talked about the job seekers, employees who are working in HR or HR practitioners, or those who are involved in recruitment, again, those who come for training, some of the things we take them through is they need to actually understand how they can utilize AI in the recruitment process. So remember, we have to be in a space where we understand that AI is working, is actually there. So there's AI that we do use, for instance, when it comes to screening. You can use AI to look at the people's CVs, but again, there's a lot of planning that goes into that, meaning that before you actually issue out an advert, you should have already thought through everything in terms of your whole recruitment process, because you need to gather certain information from the candidates. It's not, we see people still doing these, what do you call these, hard copy applications.
Yes.
No, we will not use AI on we will not use AI on hard copy applications. I remember in one of the workshops that we had, and some man asked me, so you mean that box of my applications now, AI will sort out that problem? No. AI will not jump from the computer or from the phone to go and look at the files. This is why we encourage people to attend the trainings. You have to understand from the beginning how do you put the information that you know will be useful for you to come and now match the candidates to the job. It starts from there. If you're going to use hard copy things, then it means you have to find someone, either you have, again, the phones or some material to actually, copy the information from hard covers and then, convert it to online things. But again, you have to actually, like I've said, think through the whole recruitment process. How you are going to ask the interview questions is another issue. With AI, you're able to actually interact with it, come up with questions, and even possible answers. And it actually you can interact with it and question it, and you can match the job description to what you need to be asking. We see a lot of times when we attend some interviews where people come up with all sorts of questions, which sometimes have nothing to do even with the job description or with the duties of this person that they want to hire. Again, you need to be very clear about what kind of profile you are looking for, what kind of a person you are looking for, what qualifications should they have, what kind of personality, what kind of... You basically looking at the experience and a lot of other things. So at the time of planning, plan for those things. Then AI can actually help you, including things to do after you do the interviews, things to do with reports. I see people getting so stressed. Oh, we are doing reports, you take 2 weeks, we are still typing. Why do you need to do that?
So, Mr. Kabanda, what does this really mean for managers and CEOs? Can they also use AI? If you can just briefly get to explain to us, and will be the impact, if you can also talk about the impact of AI on management of staff.
Yes, so AI definitely is going to affect a lot of things, and so everybody should be very much prepared, management and even the employees. So I was just actually talking about the HR staff and the recruitment. For the employees, it's also going to affect the way they do the work. It's actually affecting because a number of young people are actually using AI in workplaces. So for management, they have to understand that how do they make sure that this AI that is here now, we're actually managing it well. Let me give you an example in the part of the employees, even before I come to talk about management. The employees, you find that now with AI, you're actually able to do certain routine tasks very, very fast. So things to do with reports. You can actually use AI to generate reports. I've seen things to do with HR policies. So when you create HR policies or your market plans or your business plans or whatever your department is about, those procedures, manuals, all those things you use AI and it's able to generate. And remember, it's picking from thousands and thousands of documents around the world within a very short period of time, and it's able to then generate a document for you. Remember, even when we create these things, sometimes you have to go, okay, we need to benchmark, you need to ask that company and that company. With AI, you're able to do those things. So as an employee, it's going to, and it is already making life a little bit easier for certain things. But on the part of management, like you've asked, it's important that we understand what impact this AI is having on the institutions and it's going to have on institutions. One of the things we keep on talking about is this training for people to understand. Managers and CEOs need to understand that you cannot bury your head in the sand and just, okay, maybe no, AI will not affect us. Yeah. It is already affecting companies around the world. What that means, therefore, is that when your employees start to use AI, they're going to be writing things, they're going to be writing documents, they're going to write reports. Some of these reports you're going to be sending, for instance, some institutions you are required to publish certain information, even on your website and so on. Now, sometimes the information that comes from AI is not true information. It's not accurate. So, if you have not, first of all, taken a stance as an institution to train your staff and to train management, you then find a situation where people are able to produce this work very fast, but with some level of inaccuracy. And when you publish your information, because for you, you simply believe, no, my officer is very smart. Now I can see she's producing very, very good reports, because it's really fantastic. When you look at some of the reports or some analysis, if you have not put in place policies around the use of AI, you will then find that as an institution, you'll be in problems. On top of that, why we talk about training and development of policies within the institution, it's the issue around what information can employees actually use and submit to AI. Remember, if you have not taught the people what they should not be doing, those junior staff or even your senior staff, they will get the information. It will be your sales information. Because like in AI, if we want to know the trend of how much sales you've been making, say for the past 5 years or so, I don't have to start doing with a calculator and say, no, you can get the whole data set, throw it in AI, and it's able to do the whole trend analysis for you, show you where you are operating, even give you suggestions in terms of recommendations on how you can improve. It is able to analyze your performance as an institution, even benchmark it against, or even analyze and compare with other institutions of similar nature to you. Now, you find that if employees are not told what they should be doing, they will then throw company information in AI, and that information is gone. It's going to be for the public. So it's important that companies understand how the information, what information can you allow employees to use. Sometimes there's a way that you take out certain detailed information or certain parameters and can still analyze the information. But again, this is where we're saying go for the appropriate training. The third issue is to understand the laws pertaining to use of information in the country. So there are certain countries that pass laws about personal information, what you can and what you cannot use. So if you find an officer now has gotten personal information, thrown it into AI, what are you going to do about it? You'd never taught them anything. So this is why we are saying on the part of management, it's important that they build capacity in their staff and managers to understand how to properly use AI and how not to use it. So, but there are also benefits. It's not just the bad part even for managers. With AI, you are able to basically actually also understand how your company is doing. If you are going into some meetings, you can use it to analyze information for you. With AI, you are even able also to see what kind of programs do you need to have. I'll give you an example. You can actually have training programs even for managers through AI. And this thing that people used to do, like, you know, I'm working, I'm a staff welfare officer, I'm a counselor within the institution, I counsel employees sometimes, and I can say those jobs will also be affected, because with AI, there is an app that actually, an application that actually allows you to talk to this AI, and it actually talks like a person, can comfort you, can actually give you what are those things that you talk about, career plans and all those. It's actually a conversation. So it's happening.
Mr. Kanda, before our business owners and entrepreneurs, consultants gets to feel left out, because you've talked about university students, colleges, and lecturers, how can business owners also get to use artificial intelligence?
Yeah, so if you're a business owner, really this is something that, like, you are able to cut down a lot of, costs just using AI. Okay. With AI, you're able to do your adverts, you're able to do the videos. Look, with very little stuff, we're able to do some videos. Why? Because we can use AI. With AI, you can also use it even for your trend analysis, the customers you're having. With AI, you're able to even customize what you need to give to a customer. Those clients, it helps you to understand what are their preferences. But again, this requires a lot of information. So you need to start understanding. And again, this is why we encourage people to attend these trainings. They start having a chance to understand how can you market. Things to do with business plans I talked about. Businesses pay a lot of money to consultants. Now those are things that you can actually do even on your own, as long as you're putting in the correct prompts. Issues to do with, I've talked about customer preferences, that you are able to see through AI. Entrepreneurs, if you're coming up with any product, you can actually ask AI to help you. It's like a consultant. And that's why I was actually talking about even consultants, that they also now have to see where do we end, because with AI you're actually able to consult it, and it's able to guide you step by step on what you need to do. Issues to do with even colleagues, influencers, with AI it is able to analyze and actually tell you what do you need to improve on. Just this morning I was having a conversation with my AI, and it's analyzing my it analyzes my LinkedIn, it analyzes my YouTube, and tells me, okay, so this is where you need to change, this is that. It is like that. So for even musicians, you know now that we are actually seated in your home, you can actually make music. The other 2 days ago, I was making music for someone. I haven't gone to school for music. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just press it. It's on the phone, it's on the laptop. You create music for someone with specific things. And in the past, people used to say, no, because you can't even mention African names. With AI, it's past that now. You are Mokuka, you are Wembia, it is able to pronounce it. There's a lot of improvement now. like I said, I hope we have a chance to show you some of these things.
I think this is a time where you get to show us some of the things we've been talking about. To our viewers, are still watching Labor Matters right here on KBN TV. Let us keep this conversation going by sending us a text message using the number to write on your TV screen. You can also call in if you like, or better go on our Facebook page, which is KBN TV, and drop us a comment. Tell us where you're watching this particular program from. So we are going to go on a short break, but when we come back, Mr. Kabanda gets to show us what he's been talking about. He wants to give us a sneak peek of what artificial intelligence is all about. So stay tuned to this program. I believe there are some business owners and managers or even employees at times who strongly believe that policies and their procedures are frustrating.
Supervisors and managers, CEOs, they are also considered as employers.
Policies basically are just like guiding principles. How do you want to take care of your employees? How do you want to deal with your employees? And the employees also, they need to understand how the company wants them to be managed, what is expected of them.
Tune in to KBN TV for these and other educative, informative, and entertainment packages. KBN, the finest television.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now.
You're still watching Labor Matters right here on KBN TV, and today we are looking at an interesting topic. So please, let's keep this conversation going by sending in text messages, or better call in using the number which is right on your TV screen. Artificial intelligence reshaping work and business is what we are looking at today. So Mr. Kabanda did mention that he wants to give us a sneak peek of what artificial intelligence is all about. So over to you.
Okay, so we're going to just show you, I think, a little example.
Okay.
I was talking about things like what do you want? For employees, for job seekers?
We can start with employees.
Employees?
Yes.
What do you want this employee to do? Anything.
We can start with employees.
Okay, let's say this employee is writing an email, maybe to the boss. Let's see how it goes. So, write an email to the boss asking for a salary increase. Tell me what I should be talking about.
When writing an email to your boss asking for a salary increase, it's important to approach the topic professionally and with well-structured points. Here's a suggested outline and some key points to include. 1. Subject line. Keep it clear and to the point. For example, request for salary review discussion. 2. Greeting. Start with a polite and professional greeting. 3. Introduction. Briefly introduce the purpose of your email. Mention your current position and how long you've been with the company. 4. Highlight achievements. Provide specific examples of your accomplishments and contributions to the company. Quantify these achievements if possible, e.g., increase sales by X%, successfully completed major projects. 5. Value to the company. Explain how your work has positively impacted the team and company. Mention any additional responsibilities you've taken on or skills you've developed. 6. Market research. Mention that you have researched salary benchmarks for your position in the industry, showing that your request is based on fair market value.
Okay.
7.
Okay, that's
Request
just
for a
one.
meeting.
Okay.
We're gonna go for, I'm going for an interview as, what position do you want?
MD.
Great. Preparing for an interview can be a bit nerve-wracking. Is it right?
I'm going for an interview as an engineer in FQM. Tell me what I should be preparing for. This is a mining company in Zambia. Okay, so I'm going for an interview as an engineer.
As an engineer at First Quantum Minerals, FQM, a major mining company in Zambia, involves several key steps. 1, research. FQM, understand the company's history, core values, and recent projects. FQM is known for its copper and gold mining operations, so familiarize yourself with their major mines in Zambia, such as Kanzanshi and Sentinel mines. 2, understand the role. Thoroughly review the job description for the engineering position you are applying for. Know the key responsibilities, required skills, and qualifications. 3, technical knowledge. Be prepared to discuss your technical skills and experience. You might be
Okay. So you can see, I simply said FQM. It's able to tell you actually the full and even what you should be preparing for. And this is how AI is actually operating. Even if it is just a business meeting, assuming I'm going for a meeting, you need to be prepared. And this also even applies to journalists. We see it when we are watching people just asking very basic questions. You need to be prepared. You need to know the people that you're going to meet. What kind of questions can you actually ask? Or if you are looking for mentorship, what kind of questions could you ask someone? I'm going to ask it, for instance, that it's coming to meet Owen. If you're coming to meet Owen, what kind of maybe questions should you be asking?
Yeah.
As an example, this is what's happening. If you're out there, I have a meeting set up with Mr. Owen Katongo Kabanda. Could you please help me in terms of what I should prepare for when I go to meet him?
When preparing for your meeting with Mr. Owen Katongo Kabanda, it's important to consider the context and purpose of the meeting. Here are some general tips to help you get ready. 1, research. Mr. Owen Katongo, understand his role, background, and any recent activities or projects he may be involved in. Knowing his...
In this case, I want you to find information about Mr. Owen Katongo Kabanda, what his area of interest is, so that I'm more prepared. Check what is publicly available.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now.
Okay.
Could not understand what you said.
I'm looking for information that I can prepare for when meeting Mr. Owen Katongo Kabanda.
To prepare for your meeting with Mr. Owen Katongo Kabanda, you should gather information relevant to the...
So sometimes there's that glitch. Again, part of what you do is to train it. And you can have this kind of conversations until it gives you what you want.
Yeah.
Okay? So here it's speaking a different last name. So part of what we do. I'll just show you.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now.
I understand. Can you look for information about Mr. Owen Katongo Kabanda?
It seems there was an issue retrieving detailed information about Mr. Owen Katongo Kabanda online. However, you can still prepare effectively for your meeting by focusing on general strategies. 1, ask directly. During the meeting, you can ask Mr. Katongo Kabanda to share more about his background, current role.
So you see what is happening, again, is part of the training. So you spend time training the AI so that it understands what you are looking for. In this case, it's putting Kawanda. So it's unable to find that name.
And now understand why you did mention to say you had the meeting with your AI in the morning. You really had the meeting in the morning.
So there is a lot that you actually can do with this. You can find out, like the way we are talking, if let's say I'm going to have a meeting with the Absa Bank CEO, I should be prepared for that. If you're in business or if you want to understand anything, the information is rightly available and it is able to pick the information very, very fast. Okay? And it's able to give you that analysis. For instance, if we're talking...
I think that should be the last one in the interest of time.
Yeah. go ahead and ask a question.
Pardon? I wanted to tell you just to give us
some brief.
Yes.
Yeah, so we seem to be having some connection. Okay.
That's good to hear. If you have a more specific context or agenda for the meeting with Mr. Owen Katongo Kabanda, I can help.
Could you tell us the best mobile service provider in Zambia and give us a ranking between, check the performance of MTN, Zamtel, and Airtel? So there's network issues here.
Okay.
I'll stop it.
No worries. I understand how network issues can be. We can focus on preparing the key points and questions.
I truly understand when you say you had a meeting. I understand.
So there are network issues also.
I truly understand.
In other words, what I was trying to show you is that with the detailed information that it has, it is able to pick what is publicly available. Again, this speaks to very quickly in terms of each person as a professional, what is it that you are going to be putting out there also? The things that you like, the things that, because those are your footprints now online. And when people are going to be checking, and when information and AI is checking online about what you do, or the companies and institutions, it's important for institutions to know what they actually put out there. Also as individuals, it's important to know what they also actually put out there, because then that becomes their brand, and with AI, it's going to be able to pick those kind of things. In the next session, we'll try it more and more.
Looking forward to the next session, and I believe our viewers are also looking forward to that next session. It's been an amazing conversation. Your last remarks as we wrap up this conversation.
Yeah, so it's really just to encourage everyone that you have to find a way to understand AI and how it is operating. Also understand the ethics around AI. That is, what are the things you shouldn't be doing with AI? Because remember, it can be beneficial, it can also be harmful. There's AI now where you can actually even change a picture. You can actually clone voices. Some of the videos that, for instance, I produce, I don't have to be speaking in those. You basically just put your voice there. Now, what that does is that imagine if someone wanted to harm you, they can actually take a picture, and even these WhatsApp conversations, there's AI that actually generates conversations that look very real. So it's important that we understand the ethics around AI so that we are not abusing it. But also it means that, like we have said, understanding the use of AI becomes important for you if you're an employee to be more productive. If you're a manager or CEO or business owner, you also try to understand how to use it so that you do not bring problems to your own institution. Otherwise, AI is there, and it is really helping people to do their work very, very easily.
Nsanda, thank you very much for making time to be part of this conversation.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Amazing. To our viewers, thank you very much for watching Labor Matters right here on KBN TV. So today we're looking at artificial intelligence reshaping work and business. That is what we were looking at today. So please, let's keep this conversation going by dropping us a comment on Facebook, which is KBN TV. Just give us your views about the topic of discussion for today. I have been your host, Patricia Chilambikwa, and in the studio as usual, I was with Mr. Owen Katongo Kabanda, who is Management and Leadership Advisor. So please do follow him on all his social media platforms. We're talking about TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Just search for Owen Katongo Kabanda and you will find him. And don't forget to follow KBN TV on Facebook. From me and the entire production crew, it's goodbye.